pricing. So now if you look at it, right, like how do even in my personal life, right, like how did I finally land up in pricing? I myself, I don't have an idea, let me be honest. It's not like I consciously woke up and I said, okay, I will become a pricing expert through my product and product knowledge, experience, I will eventually become a person who goes deep into pricing. I never visualized it in that way, right? Like I just started enjoying the complexities that pricing started throwing at us, right? Like pricing is a very, very flexible factor, and it basically is one of the most dynamic factor which can impact your business very quickly. I mean, no better place to understand pricing than the e-commerce platforms that you all have. Just open your your apps, Amazon or Flipkart or Meeshos of the world, and you will see as of today there'll be like tailor-made deals for you, or there could be deals which are designed for next 15 minutes or 30 minutes. I mean, think about it. What are those deals? It's not like they're adding cool features into a product. It's all on the price point play, right? Like the same, let's say, cosmetic or a health product or whatever you want to call. If you have a need and you know that you're going to any which ways consume, pricing ensures that you can monetize that product right now. Imagine if someone says, example, again, let's go back to a cab guy. If you go and say, hey, I'm going to give you diesel at 10% discount, if you book a order today in the next 15 minutes, it's a no-brainer. You will get cash right now in your account, because the cab guy any which ways is going to use the 50 liters in the next 2-3 days. So that's how impactful sometimes pricing can be, to basically get your end of sale or your entire quote to cash complete. Basically, that's one. Second, direct impact on revenue and profitability, right? Like there is no clearer metric than price, which defines what your revenue would be and what your profitability would be. If your cost remains constant, price point, the selling price, is the one that basically determines whether you are profitable and what revenues you will land up. So it's that important a lever to understand. Else you will just basically be a great like product designer, but you might not be a very successful product evangelist or product end-to-end product leader. Basically, it creates the first impression. I mean, you can find 100 examples in internet that where prices have been positively reinforcing people, and sometimes it has been detrimental. Two classic examples. I still don't know many people how they just can pay the premium for Apple phones, right? Because it's perceived, it's a premium product. It's no longer about, like, why would you pay so many millions to get a Ferrari? Why would you pay so many millions to get a let's say what is it, the high-end designer dresses that we get in the market? End of the day, if someone comes with this mindset that let's break down the cost associated with it, okay, it has the same material, it's a tailor, end of the day stitching it, a designer coming and putting together. Why is it being sold at such exorbitant price? That's because of the perceived value. It's the impression that, like, I cater only to the premium segment. Once you have made up that mind, basically price is something that makes you visualize that, hey, this is basically a premium product. Similarly, how many of you have booked hotels in your recent past based on price point alone? There could be an extremely good resort which is giving you a room for 3,000 rupees, but and as compared to another resort which is not giving a quality room at say 7,000 bucks, but we still would perceive that, hey, that is 7,000. For all you know, that resort will give more features. And that's the impact sometimes price can leave. And it plays the other way also, right? Like, I mean, I hate it, but I have to take the example of Tata Nano sometimes, right? Because people perceive car as a status symbol in India, right? Like people want to showcase their wealth and their status symbol by showcasing their car. So their first thing that comes to mind is like, I don't want to buy a car which is made to look like a poor version of a car or a upgrade to my motorcycle and all. And the moment you started telling that it's like a 1 lakh car and it's just hey, now bikers can now go safely in a car and etc., people started shying away because they didn't want to bring an asset which was still 1 lakh is a big amount, and they didn't want to invest in 1 lakh and bring something in where people started saying that, hey, yeah, maybe that person didn't have enough money to buy a bigger car and that's why they got a. And that's the impression that a price point can bring on. Had it not been like widely marketed and spoken like a 1 lakh car, etc., and all, for all you know, that it would have been a success story is what I feel. I mean, it's my personal take. It could have been a great alternative for the traffic that we have in this metros. But yes, let's see how it rebrands and comes back into the market. But price can have both positive and positive reinforcement and negative impact on the perceived value. And yes, I think it's key driver for sales promotions. It's easy way to compare. As I said, I took the example of hotel. It's very easy. People perceive like 7,000 should be always better than 3,000. That's how it is. And significant impact on the overall brand. I spoke all these points, right? So that's the criticality that we are dealing with when it comes to prices. It's what the customer sees. That's the biggest problem that I always felt as a pricing person, right? Everyone finally gets a rate card. It's like going through the menu card of your hotel, right? Like you basically go and start looking at the dishes. If you are price conscious, you will always start looking at like, hey, a dosa for 200 bucks. What is this guide? I don't want to ever turn up on this in this particular restaurant anymore because this is ridiculous. But someone might say that, okay, the dosa actually is for 40 bucks. The 160 that I'm paying is for an experience of fine dining. I'm absolutely fine with that. So imagine how that 200 rupees is perceived by different customers. And that's the problem for a pricing strategy person, because you don't have one size that fits everyone. Customers are different. Customers think differently. And that's why you have to constantly keep working on your prices and innovate so that you can keep addressing different segments using the same product that you have. Okay, I see a question. Let's how higher CAC affect pricing decision? Okay, great question, Girish. I think customer acquisition cost, right? Like it all depends upon your current phase of your product also. Like, would you care about customer acquisition cost when you are bootstrapped and you are really desperate to get customers? The answer would be like, I don't really see people coming and asking me pricing questions at a bootstrapping level, or even at even at a very early funding phase. They are so focused on getting that product correct, right? Like they have to build. They have a hypothesis that a customer has a problem, and I have to design a product which can MVP product in the first place, and I have to get it to the market so that I can get to the customer quickly. That's their first mindset at that point in time. Once the maturity happens, once customers actually are repeat customers, you are getting into billing, you're getting into scaling, that's when actually pricing becomes a big question. Because now you cannot just guesstimate that what could be a price. You have to be scientific in your pricing strategies. You can't basically come and randomly and say that, okay, the customer who paid 100 rupees in the past will continue paying 100 rupees in the past. You might have got competitors coming up. You might have suddenly seen that the customer might have exceeded the expectation because now they're like, hey, this is okay, but I still need more, sort of. So I would say it is a combination of a lot of factors, Girish. It's, yes, CAC will, like a higher CAC will obviously unnerve as a mature product manager. When my product is actually in the growth phase, if the CAC is very high and if my price doesn't even cover my CAC, I'll be really concerned, because then I'm bleeding. How long can I bleed money? And the product leader who I report to will eventually start asking, Vignesh, is your growth even a organic growth, or are you just showing artificial growth here? If I basically keep burning cash and I just say that, hey, use this product for free, it's okay, just be a customer, eventually it will start breaking, right? So I think at an early phase, you still are not really worried about, but as you grow, your point is valid. Like I can't sustain a low price, like I can't have a pricing model or a pricing strategy which doesn't even cover my acquisition costs. I hope I was able to address it. Okay. See something on the chat. Sir, will you be sharing the slides? Okay, I'll see how I can share it, and maybe the institute can take it from there.